Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm the Uzeppa, and welcome back to Let's Talk Gaming, Episode 2. This is a continuation of last time's Destiny vs. Overwatch discussion, taking place in the exact same stream. But now, we move on to our next subject. The gaming community, the responsibility of gamers, and most specifically, YouTubers and Twitch streamers.
He's actually has something more relative to the what you were just saying. So
it's kind of weird. Like, I want to love my game Destiny, and I agree with what was it you, Muddy, who said something earlier about the fan bases and all that?
It was all of us.
I just think people need to calm the fuck down.
I still get Muddy and Luda's voices mixed up. I do.
I kind of agree with all of you. People just need to calm the fuck down. At the end of the day, it's a video game. I mean, the thing I notice about both games is that both fan bases seem to sending messages to people in PvP telling them they're garbage.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm like, yeah.
I've gotten hate mail.
There's a super
games.
that's just video games in general.
That, like, it is. It
right.
is.
Well, but that comes down to tubers and Twitch streamers and people like that, where
yes, absolutely
need to start setting a representation for, and this is super off topic, but that issue honestly comes down to the population of this community that are seen on a national level because of streaming and all that stuff. They need to start representing a more open, I guess is the right word, community that allows for people to
Star got me.
Play and not get
continually
attacked. Because right now,
well,
you say anything and this Twitch is gonna get at you and get mad and all this stuff. And
not
it's
to
just
cut anyone
healthy.
off before we continue onward. The people who get watched a lot, who get a shit ton of views, they are a big part of these communities. They are something that sort of helps shape the mindset of an outsider, you know?
They're the absolute voice of the community, and they're the only ones the developers listen to.
And that's something that I've talked about before, where the developers focus more on what a popular streamer has to say than what the majority has to say, in some cases.
Free kill!
But I think that's one reason I wanted to
start
these...
stole all my kills!
That's another reason I wanted to start this subject with this new segment and experiment with it, because, you know, as obviously an unpopular and yet unknown streamer and YouTuber, if things were to take off, it would help me.
I love you, Mar. Don't worry.
For the community.
Well, can I point something out when we keep speaking of community here? Speaking of the Twitch and YouTube communities causing a bad example, they also cause a good example, such as for Destiny 2. I don't follow Destiny 2 much. I don't play Destiny 2 much, and I go ahead. People hate me for that. I'd like to, but funds. But basically, what I'm getting at is that somebody you're probably familiar with if you know of Destiny, King Gathalion. Streamers and such as him actually bring in a lot of positive what's the word? Positive feedback and positive impression about the game, which then can actually people start thinking that's the majority, when really we have a lot of toxicity in all communities.
That is true.
So I feel like one thing, there's a lot of misleadance within the communities about.
God, I have no idea to play Hanzo.
How their community actually is.
Oh,
damn it!
Shoot.
Hey, Star, did you have anything to add? You've been quiet for a while.
Not really. I mean, but I think the community is a lot different than some.
Ooh. That pulse ball.
Because,
so
I see, the good in it, but also, too, I've seen some pretty shitty sides. I just feel people need to, stop trying so hard to be top dog and just realize, most of the games, people tend to forget, Overwatch is a team game. Destiny?
Yeah.
It's kind of a team game. So if you can't play with others, I mean...
Real.
Seems like a personal decision.
Go back to
that
second grade,
community.
learn how to play with each other, then come back.
Yeah.
That is the truth, and right there, she said Destiny's kind of a team game. That's so not far from the truth, because I know for a fact that a lot of people will go solo in there.
It's a game that you can sort of solo, but there are things where you need to work as a team. Like if you're alone in the multiplayer with just a match of 4 random guys, by all means, play solo and work as a team when you see opportunities. But with the casual PvP that Destiny has, it's not such a big deal when you win or lose, because one way or another, you're still getting a drop, you're still doing something.
That was the luckiest shot
with,
ever, Soldier.
Like when you work on a raid, it's a team event, you need to work together. If you're not working together, you're not getting it done. You know? I can think of multiple times where I've done raids on Destiny 1 with people that they just, some of them were not good at working together, or they wouldn't admit when they did something that screwed it up.
That's a weird thing too. I hate that concept of trying to be like, I get the most kills, but at the same time, you know, 5 of your teammates died trying to keep you alive so you can get the shiny kills. You know, I don't know.
That is
right. You're fighting
good
for a gold medal.
And
Poor Money.
I keep stealing his like kills. The third, fourth times someone stole my kill. I freeze and they steal it.
In Overwatch especially, Star, I've really noticed that, like, within some of our circle as well, there's people who bring up, like, oh, well, let's say DPS will be like, yeah, well, I'm doing good, I've got all the golds. I mean, I've got gold medals and damage, and it's like, you might have that, but like you said, Overwatch is a team game. What's that worth if you
we don't get the point?
Yeah, if you lose, like half of your team doing it, because...
Even I'll admit, when I've got 4 gold medals, I feel like I'm doing a lot of the work. Like, I won't say that I'm carrying, but that I'm certainly doing more than my part. But then there are times where I'm willing to sacrifice getting those 4 gold medals if it means the team strives and succeeds. Especially when I solo kill. Like, I've had people say you're terrible when I'm playing a role that I normally don't.
Yeah, that is a main thing too, is actually flexibility within at least the Overwatch community is a main thing bringing it down. The main thing that might actually completely kill Overwatch is, dumb as it sounds, not its developers, not the anger towards them with some of the nerfs and all they've made, which in the end, none of us are game developers. None of us are none of that. So we might say, hey, this is 10 times better of an idea, but in the end, it could end up a horrible idea that we just think is going to be good.
This is true.
And for the main thing that will definitely kill the game before the developers will be the community, because for the most part, this community especially is one of those I'm right, you're wrong, suck a dick type communities. Like a lot of times you run into no flexibility in fucking comp, which then causes a loss and is then thrown back on the people who were. Like how many games I've got into where there's a lot of people who I've actually gotten into games who main Mercy, who play Mercy like crazy, and we've needed one, and instead of doing it, they felt like they didn't want to that. But they didn't want to today, which then ends up a loss. They felt like playing a fucking DPS at the time, which Overwatch needs to be a little bit more flexible and understanding.
One of the worst matches I ever personally suffered a loss on was I was on Eichenwald, and I usually wait a few seconds before I pick my character on comp, especially because I wait to see what roles are going to be filled immediately and what roles need to be filled. I mean, most of the time I still go tank, but that's just me. Oh, John's back. You missed quite a bit, John. But I had a game where we had 4 DPS, 1 person went tank, and I went healer to fill the role. God-awful healer. Like, if you've seen me play healer, you know I am bad at being the healer. But I did it because we needed one.
Okay, I definitely get the understanding there. For one thing mainly with Overwatch I've noticed is very rarely will you run into a team that is, I guess you could say, that is actually worth playing with, not because they're bad, but because it ends to a lot of bullshit and fuckery. Like, a lot of times, me myself ran into recently, this will prove like how childish the community can actually be.
Since you've never been on this
yes, All Widow.
Since you've never been on this map, I recommend you look at the laptop in the one room. Victor's gun is on the desk next to it. You can't miss it.
Everyone Widow.
I was in a game, and basically this is just how childish the community can be.
That's turnaround.
two of the people on my team were actually inside of a game before that game.
Oh.
And what happened is they actually ended up having a pissing match the entire game, which kept us from getting anything done.
Oh yeah, I can understand that.
Like literally, they were arguing about last game. One of them lost, the other one was saying, "Hey, you're not good. You only beat us because of this." Instead of, "Okay, well, you whooped our ass, but it's here. Let me prove it's not me."
Remember that message I got when I was playing as Mercy the other day?
Played. Yes.
Yeah.
That's another prime example. Keeping 5 of us alive and one person died and goes, "Wow, you're trash, Mercy."
Oh
and
yeah.
later on apologizes to him.
I mean, it's like when people send that shit to me, actually keeping the other teammates alive. Don't get mad at me.
Oh yeah.
Get mad at me because
I'll openly admit that my Mercy has been keeping me alive a lot, and I see people dying. I will personally say, "Hey, can you help our other teammates?" And I'll willingly accept dying if 5 people live.
Oh, I got you with that.
Luda was killing me.
It's more. It's like both teams have very, very bad fans in their fan base.
Oh yeah,
definitely agree.
It's always the toxic loudmouth will overshadow the good ones who try to represent the community in a positive way.
Oh, you're right.
That is 100% agree there.
All people care about is negatives.
Jen's sitting over there. I admit I'm a loudmouth. She's just like,
what do you hear about? What do you hear about?
Like, do a YouTube search.
Somebody.
Oh yes, just look up YouTube toxicity.
Yes.
It's pretty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, YouTube Overwatch toxicity. What do you find? You find
everything.
Oh, that's cool.
You will find thousands of videos in seconds of just what you need to see.
Wow.
And the same goes for any game. If you specifically search out the toxicity for any game, you will find it. Magic the Gathering, Destiny, you name it. If it's got a community behind it, the toxicity exists, and you will find it fast.
It's got pros and cons.
I just feel like it's more prominent in like games where you have to play with other people. You know what I mean? Like competitive games where you have to work with other people. Because I played Counter-Strike for the longest time, and I didn't experience like half the toxicity that I experience here.
And that's
I think all those toxicity moments we see on YouTube are all just like one thing. Like, you know, they're just like a moment in time that, you know, people have to capture and show on freaking TV or some shit. Anna.
No, don't shoot. No shoot, please.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a big deal.